Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Lizard. You can call me Lizard for short. How are you doing? So the other day I was thinking, how should I start my speech? So I went to my friend Mr. Shark. Hi, I'm Mr. Shark, and that was you tasted really good, Mr. Lizard. Uh, so yeah, here's how you should start a speech. I just, I'm just kidding. It's just me. Hi, everybody. It's me, Patrick, with another great lesson on how to start speeches. So today, I'm going to focus specifically on something called the attention-getting device. What I did just now was a little story that I was telling with Mr. Lizard and Mr. Shark. And what I was doing was using an attention-getting device to grab your attention in order for you to make sure you're paying attention. Did it work? I think it did. So, what makes a good attention-getting device? It must do several things. And just to clarify, in case you don't know what I'm talking about when I say attention-getting device, it's also known as an AGD, and it is the first thing that you're going to say during your speech. What some people like to say at the beginning of a speech is, hello, my name is blank, and then fill in the blank there with your own name. That's a really ineffective attention-getting device because it doesn't really catch our attention, which is what the first words out of your mouth should always do. So, and a good attention-getting device will, number one, catch our attention. It will grab our attention. It will get our attention in some way that will make us want to keep listening. Number two, it will relate to us in some way. It'll be something we can relate to or understand easily. And number three, it will be fairly short and simple. Overall, in your speech, your attention-getting device should probably be around half the length of your entire introduction. So it's not a very long thing. So what makes a good attention-getting device? Well, I recommend one of three methods. One method is to use a quotation. A short, simple quotation from somebody who's famous or prominent adds credibility to your speech. You can give the quotation and then explain it, and that's a great way to start. Another good way to start is by using a startling fact or statistic, something that will make us go, whoa, that's crazy, I didn't know that was true. Of course, it does need to be true. You should not use something that's fake or false because that would be unethical and misleading your audience. You don't want to do that. Of course, anytime you use either a quotation or you use a fact or statistic, you must tell us the source of that information. You must tell us who said it, when it was said, things like that. Those two types of ways to start are great, but there's an even better way. Get close. The best way to start your speech is with a story. That's right, a story. It's the best way to start your speech because we, as human beings, love stories. We love people to tell us stories. We love to tell stories. And when somebody starts their speech with a story, an anecdote, an example, something like that, we want to keep listening. And that's the point of public speaking, is to get people to keep listening. So those are the three ways that are great to start. Quotations, fine. Starting with a startling statistic or fact, great. But even better, a story. It can be your own story. It can be a story from a movie or a TV show. It could be a story from a news article. If it's not your own story, you just need to cite it. That's all. What are some bad ways to start your speech? Well, one bad way to start your speech is by saying something along the lines of, everybody blank. Everybody has dreams. Everybody gets up in the morning. Everybody wants more time. These are truisms, and they're boring, and they're not fun at all. Not a good way to start your speech. Another bad way to start your speech generally are jokes. Two muffins walk into an oven. The oven's really hot. One muffin turns to the other muffin and says, it's really hot in here. The other muffin says, holy cow, a talking muffin. Now, I think that's hilarious, but many of you might not because you don't have a good sense of humor. So, jokes are bad because you don't know if people are going to laugh. If they don't laugh, you feel really bad about yourself before you give your speech. Not a good way to start. The worst way to start your speech, and ironically enough, in most books it's listed as a good way, is by asking a question. When you ask a question, you draw attention to the fact that you don't have control over your speech because you don't know how people are going to answer. Maybe you want an answer and people don't actually answer at all. Maybe you didn't want an answer, but people decide they just don't want to answer. No matter what happens, you've lost control of your speech. It's kind of lazy, it's kind of weak, it's not a good way to start your speech. So try to avoid questions. So the 3 good ways: stories, quotations, and startling facts. The 3 bad ways: questions, jokes, and boring statements. How do you end your speech? Well, to end your speech, you simply draw a tie back to your attention-getting device. So if you started with a story, go back to that same story. If you started with a startling fact or statistic, draw your attention back to that fact or statistic. If you started with a quotation, go back to that quotation. It's really easy to do if you do one of those 3. Try doing it with those other bad 3. It's really hard to do. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my time here with me, Mr. Shark, and Mr. Lizard. Take a bow, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hate you again. He never learns. I always eat him in the end. And you see, I tied back to my original thing here at the end, just like you should in a speech. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye. No, seriously, bye.